Good evening, I'm Ben Kitili at the KTN News Center, and this is KTN Prime. Many thanks for joining us on the most qualified news bulletin in the region. It is Monday, December 21st, 2015. The top stories tonight.
The narrative that the Jubilee administration is peddling, that we are all corrupt, is sheer fiction.
It was a donation, not a bribe, Martha Karua insists.
So I just want to assure Kenyans that the security agencies all over the country have put in place a plan to ensure that all of us are secure.
2 dead and several injured in an early morning Mandera terror attack.
UDF, 40 people, BAS, GNU, hizi vyama vyote tutaviunganisha iwe chama moja.
Deputy President William Ruto hosts Rift Valley leaders over the new party.
Wajir County amedabdula, alafu maisabi kati ukuri hatari. Alafu na Garissa County Adam Jama.
The story of a 4-year-old nursery pupil who knows the names of all the Kenyan governors and so much more. Welcome to the program. Our sign language interpreter is William Sila. I have nothing to hide. That is what NARC Kenya party leader Martha Karua is maintaining of allegations that she pocketed some bribe from the British American tobacco. On Saturday, a British newspaper, The Independent, accused Karua of receiving a 7.6 million shilling bribe from BAT for presidential campaigns, allegedly to advance BAT's commercial interests. But Karua insists she is clean and that she is open to investigations by both local and British authorities.
It is this sensational headline in British newspapers The Independent that has Martha Karua's name the latest in those entangled in corruption allegations. The publication alleges that the NARC Kenya leader received 7.6 million shillings to prevent a rival company supplying Kenya with technology to combat cigarette smuggling, an allegation that she vehemently denies. Karua says that she understood the contribution from Paul Hopkins, a former BAT employee, to be a personal and not company donation.
Campaign, Mr. Paul Hopkins gave a donation of 2 million to my campaign, Kenya shillings. I was informed of his donation and I had a brief meeting with him where I thanked him. The allegation that I or my presidential campaign received a total contribution of 7.5 million shillings and a car is false.
The question that we're asking is why is it that they decided to splash this story, sensationalize the story without even getting the answers that they themselves had sought?
The serious allegations are said to be contained in a dossier of BAT bribery and corruption claims passed to Britain's Serious Fraud Office by Paul Hopkins, who blew the whistle on the case. The dossier allegedly shows that the donation was paid in cash via a middleman, in return to which BAT allegedly obtained key confidential KRA documents outlining the contract for new technology designed to stamp out tobacco smuggling.
At no time in my public career have I had responsibility over KRA. I did not and do not have any access to information on KRA software or other contracts. The story in The Independent is the first I have heard of the KRA documents and contracts and their interest in procuring software.
The matter is up for investigations by Britain's Serious Fraud Office, but Karua is challenging even local authorities to take it up, saying that she has always been an anti-graft crusader.
As Kenyans, we must ask, what was the full extent of BAT donations in the 2013 general elections, and to which political parties and presidential campaigns? It is evident that BAT were an active campaign contributor.
Karua's lawyer Gitobu Imanyara further wants the Independent to apologize for what he calls sensational reporting.
The newspaper, if in fact it was bona fide, if it was it published the story without any malice, can come out and correct the sensational aspect of the bribery claims, because there was no bribery involved. And professionally, I think it behoves any media house that seeks information and it sends out questions, at least to be in a position to say that we sent the questions and they were not responded to.
The narrative that the Jubilee administration is peddling, that we are all corrupt, is sheer fiction. The silent majority of Kenyans are not corrupt. I have never taken a bribe, and I know I'm not alone in that.
The bribery scandal at BAT also pulled in co-principal Moses Wetangula, a former Minister of Trade. Sharon Momanyi, KTN News. NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua says she is clean and is open for investigations. It is 18 months to the 2017 general election. On the big question tonight, we ask you, do you think these bribery allegations will jeopardize Martha Karua's political ambitions? Share your opinion with the number 22155. You can also tweet us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, and at KTN Kenya. And we shall be sampling some of your views during this live newscast. Muslim passengers on a bus in Mandera told off their attackers, shielding their Christian colleagues and refusing to be split into two groups based on their faith. At least 2 people were killed and 6 others wounded after gunmen attacked a bus and a lorry between Kotulo and Elwak in the county of Mandera. The attackers are believed to be Al-Shabaab militants. Last year, at a time like this, a bus was attacked near Mandera by Al-Shabaab militants who killed about 36 non-Muslims traveling to Nairobi for the Christmas celebrations. Interior Secretary Joseph Nkaiseri has condemned the latest attack, assuring Kenyans of utmost security during the festive season.
The unity of effort, the unity of purpose, that we are all Kenyans. We are not separated by religion. Everybody can profess his own religion, but we are one country, we are one people as a nation. And that was a very good message from our brothers and sisters from the Muslim community. And I just want to inform Kenyans that the security agencies have put in place a very elaborate plan to ensure that Kenyans are secure during this festive season.
Meanwhile, the National Transport and Safety Authority will soon launch the digital licenses intended to rein in on rogue drivers. Now, this is part of a wider plan to automate the management of transport in the capital, Nairobi. In our follow-up story on decongesting Nairobi, our special correspondent Alex Chamwada explains the role of technology in addressing transport challenges.
The debate on decongesting Nairobi rages on, with residents of Nairobi and neighboring counties yearning for a solution to the never-ending traffic snarl-ups.
If there is a reliable public transport, I'll never buy a car.
Kumekuwa na reforms kwa matatu, by the way.
One of the proposed short-term solutions is the replacement of the current driving licenses with smart licenses that can be used to track the behavior of motorists, given that bad behavior on the road is one of the major causes of congestion. The Nairobi Transport and Safety Authority is set to embark on that project.
We had given a notification of award of the tender. It went to the procurement review board. One of the bidders challenged it. We are happy that last week on Friday, our decision was upheld. So we are just now negotiating on the contract so that we sign the contract and start the rollout of the new smart driving license.
Like what happens in the West, breaking traffic rules will be recorded instantly. One of the methods will be a gadget police officers can use to scan your driving license or vehicle number plates.
so that as you continue committing traffic offenses, you are being profiled and you are losing points on your driving license until a point where you will not be allowed to drive on the road. That way you will hold drivers personally to account.
Stakeholders believe this will go a long way in bringing sanity to the roads as long as those caught on the wrong side of the law are punished. Amid skepticism that impunity could still circumvent technology.
You control attitude by tracking behavior. The other issue that you have to deal with is the issue of integrity, so that nobody is able to bribe to get away with it. And that way you do by limiting the interaction between police and the people by introducing, for example, instant fines. When somebody is found, he has jumped traffic lights, it is the camera that picks him, and the whole thing sends a bill to his house.
The Nairobi County government says it will work closely with NTSA to decongest the city with the process of setting up a Nairobi Area Metropolitan Transport Authority that will overhaul transport management already in place.
As we speak right now, we have a steering committee that is managing the setup of the Metropolitan Authority. We have a secretariat that is coordinating the discussions in these setups, engaging the NTSAs, engaging the county governments, engaging the road agencies. So this is not about a promise. This is a promise that we've started realizing.
On social media, response from members of the public on the way forward in decongesting Nairobi is overwhelming. Ali Khan Sachu says, first of all, the hit to GDP must be seriously outsized. Duncan Mushiri says only city commuter buses with a heavy carrying capacity should be allowed to enter Nairobi. Amos K says the city of Bogota in Colombia has mass transport worth emulating. Robert Nagila observes that Moi Avenue to Grogan is a matatu village, the only city that allows matatus to fill up public parking. Vin Anguche says for now we need just to enforce the traffic rules and make use of the bypasses. Benjin Dolo recommends peak hour management, better signal management, smart enforcement, mass transit and better roads. Evelyn Shilaho says to decongest Nairobi you will need a bulldozer like Magufuli because powerful people own most matatus. And Kabande Obande has a response to that comment. He says that bulldozer is you and me and other Kenyans who go to the ballot boxes to cast votes. For KTN News, I'm Alex Chamwada.
She has mesmerized the world with her incredible knowledge of the names of all 47 governors of the Republic of Kenya. After all, she's only 4 years old. The video clip of Chantel's genius trended and continues to trend. Our reporter Lofty Matambo traced the little girls and her mother to Nairobi's Umoja estate. She's simply incredible. Take a look.
Chantel's world is totally different from that of her age mates. Playing to her is not a priority. Instead, she spends more time going through her books as well as asking her elders as many questions as possible.
Leg, son.
This video went viral a week ago.
Governor of Kakamega County.
Wycliffe Oparanya.
Governor of Lamu County.
Isati Mami.
Governor of Kilifi County.
Abason Kingi.
4-year-old Chantel Minayo reciting the names of all 47 governors in Kenya. Clearly, this posed a challenge to many people who are way older than she is. As people were mesmerized by her abilities, we trace her to their home at Nairobi's Umoja Estate.
Mama anaitwa Nineti ya Buli, alafu niko Nazari, alafu niko 4 years.
Chantel surprised her mother even more. Her single mother Lynette says she noticed the uniqueness from her peers while she was 1 year old.
Concentration yake ilikuwa tofauti sana. Hakuwa anapenda kutazama sana mambo ya watoto ya kitoto. Sana ungempata anatazama habari za kisiasa. Alafu wale watu wale wanasiasa akishaona hivi atakuuliza yule ni nani, anatoka wapi. Akishakuuliza hivyo Siku nyingine tena wakileta watakwambia ndo yule Raila Odinga.
Just how did she do it?
Kuna siku nikamwambia basi nitakwambia magavana wote na mali wanatoka. Nilipomwambia tu siku moja tu hivyo. Akawajua wote siku moja.
Siku brush.
Na sweets, unakula sweets sana?
That she is a beautiful little girl is no doubt. And what is becoming increasingly clear is her intelligence.
Pink, black, green.
And her mother says she prefers to stay in the house helping with domestic chores than playing with the children of her own age. The single mother struggles to pay Chantel's school fees, and she's often sent home for lack of school fees. When she is in school though, she often tops her class.
Ali default third term because ya school fees na pia alikuwa amechomeka. So hakuenda, but wakati wa mwisho alikuwa huko to 500.
Tuambie unaitwa nani wewe?
Philip Muli.
Philip Muli. Unajua gavana wa kaunti ya Kwale?
Mimi simjui.
Unajua gavana wa kaunti ya Embu?
La.
Gavana wa Kwale County?
I don't know.
Wa Kwale. Salim Mvula alafu na Kakamega Wycliffe Oparanya.
That is Chantel and Chantel's world for you.
But even her cleverness, the ability to grasp more things compared to her age mates marvels many. Chantel's mother believes geniuses are made and not necessarily born. Lofty Matambo, KTN News, Umoja, Nairobi.
Wow. What were you doing, or what did you know when you were 4 years old? Chantel is simply incredible. I think she's a political reporter in the making. Well, away from Chantel's brilliantness, Standard Digital has scaled a milestone when its KTN verified Facebook account likes hits 2 million plus, towering above its competitors. This is the highest number of any media publishing brand in the East African region. The KTN page, which was first Kenyan-owned account to hit the 1 million mark, has continued its upward growth in the rapidly growing internet landscape. Here is KTN's Zinzi Kibiku with the details.
Social media has become such a vital and important aspect of our lives. According to Sprint Interactive Media, a digital marketing firm here in Kenya, Africa is not being left behind this digital space. The number of Facebook users in Kenya is 1.3 million. In Nigeria, that number is at 4.5, whereas in South Africa, it stands at 4.1 million. I can barely remember what life was without Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these social media sites. And speaking of Facebook, Standard Digital Media just hit 2 million likes on our Facebook page, and it's all thanks to you guys.
Standard Digital team is an awesome group of young people really working hard to ensure we give our audiences what they really deserve.
In Kenya right now we have over 4.5 million Facebook users, and for KTN page to have over 2 million Facebook likes is a big thing.
Over the last 2 years, KTN has got to 2 million page views because of the digital space and digital content that it has been able to take over. The demand for digital content has really increased over the last few years, and we here at KTN have really tried to meet that demand that our audience have given us, and that is why I think we are on top of it, and that has set us apart from other from competition.
But why is social media such a big thing? Well, for one, it improves brand recognition, brand loyalty, and high conversation rates, something that Standard Digital does all the time on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Therefore, we get to interact more with our audience, and that's you guys.
We have achieved a milestone, 2 million Facebook likes, and with over 90% of local fans. It's a great achievement, and we are grateful to be here. So keep it KTN Kenya. We will keep you entertained, we'll keep you informed, and if you're not following us yet, KTN Kenya is the page to go to.
It's the first media house page that was able to get 2 million likes in East Africa, East and Central Africa. So we're actually happy. Efforts have paid off. We are hoping to get the next 3 million.
Let's head over to Twitter. Standard Digital is a force to reckon with. I mean, for example, look at JKL Live. It airs twice a week and it's always trending. And one of my favorite, Friday's Briefing. And it's on this platform and on this same trends that we get to hear from you guys, and you guys get to talk back to us.
We have reached a stage where we can say we can look straight in the eyes of the competitors and tell them numbers don't lie. Standard Digital is the best in East and Central Africa.
And on to one of my favorite platforms, YouTube. This is a place where KTN News is buzzing. We have more than 100 videos uploaded, ranking in millions of views. For example, one of my favorites is the lady with the longest hair in the world. That video alone has been viewed more than 8 million times. Or the pastor who was caught pants down. And one of my favorite Tujuana episodes that brought in 2 million views for KTN News.
I might say that it has been a very rough ride, and we've been working hard to this day, and we understand that we're in the information and entertainment business, and being able to please our readers to actually reach 2 million likes in a span of 2 years, it's a very, very big effort.
The future of social media is quite bright, and whatever it will be, you can be sure that Standard Media Group will be at the forefront of it, bringing you the whole story. Zinze Kibiku, KTN News.
Keep interacting with us in the all-important digital space, and we'll keep you informed and entertained. Elsewhere, Deputy President William Ruto today convened a meeting of leaders from the Rift Valley region over plans to bring together Jubilee affiliate political parties under one party ahead of the next general election. Ruto hosted the MPs, governors, MCAs and opinion leaders at his Sugoi home in the county of Uasin Gishu.
It was a meeting that brought together over 6,000 leaders from the Rift Valley, United Republican Party supporters. The Deputy President William Ruto told the members of Parliament, governors, MCAs and opinion leaders at his Sugoi home in Uasin Gishu County that the new Jubilee Party was meant to ensure that he wins presidency in 2022.
Hizi vyama vyote tutaviunganisha iwe chama moja ya Jubilee ya kuunganisha wa Kenya na kupeleka taifa letu mbele kwa namna ambayo itajumuisha na kuunganisha wa Kenya wote.
Ingawa wengi wetu tuko na nia ya uongozi, ingawa wengi wetu tuko na nia ya kutaka kuongoza hapa na pale, tumeshikana pamoja nyuma ya uongozi ya Honorable William Ruto atuongoze njia mpaka 2032 wakati atamaliza urais.
Ruto defended his move for abandoning URP and opting for an umbrella formation in a bid to tackle the problem of tribalism.
Siasa ya mgawanyiko, siasa ya chuki, ya ukabila, ya watu kupangana sehemu na sehemu, ni siasa ambayo inapeleka Kenya nyuma.
Ruto acknowledged that there were indeed challenges in the Jubilee coalition, but maintained that they will not waste their time squabbling, instead front for unifying the country.
Sasa mimi nimeambia ndugu zangu ambao wanakimbia left, right and center wanatafuta kitu, jipange vizuri 2032 uanze safari hiyo. Lakini safari ya saa hii vile tulikaa nyuma ya Moi, tutakaa nyuma ya Deputy President mpaka hiyo safari tukapomaliza.
Nandi Hills MP Alfred Keter, who was not at the meeting, says the meeting should not discuss parties but issues affecting the Rift Valley.
In 2017 we'll go for individuals. We will mobilize Kenyans to go for individuals. So I have no place for them because in most cases they are psychopaths.
Keter and Bomet County Governor Isaac Ruto, who was also not present at the meeting, have been vocal on not merging the two parties, TNA and URP. KANU had recently distanced itself from the merger. 5 KANU MPs, however, were at the meeting. Marcy Kandie, KTN News, Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County.
Welcome to KTN Business. Cruise tourism is making a comeback to the country in the coastal towns of Mombasa County. According to the Kenya Tourism Board, cruise tourism has significantly increased this year compared to the other years, with over 2,700 tourists having landed at the port of Mombasa aboard various cruise ships since the start of 2015. Revival of cruise tourism follows heavy investments by the government in bolstering security. Insecurity caused by pirates along the high seas has led to tourists abandoning the Indian Ocean circuit. KTN's Francis Ontomo witnessed the arrival of the vessel.
All of the luxurious MS Nautica at the port of Mombasa was greeted with great enchantment. The state-of-the-art ship knocked the port carrying 684 tourists from the European countries and some 386 crew members. Traditional dancers were waiting with scintillating performances and gifts during the stopover. For observers, this is a shot in the arm for the reviving tourism industry and an indicator of things looking up bright. Cruise ship tourism has over the recent years experienced strong international growth, with its diversifying products creating and developing new market niches.
We do believe that with this kind of ship coming in, clearly we are pumping money into the local economy, because many of the people coming in this kind of cruise ship, they are people who are well-to-do. Since
the removal of travel advisories by some European countries this year, effects of the stride are starting to be realized, with industry players projecting an even more promising year as tourists flock the country.
Wonderful. The music, it sets the mood, so it's very exciting. We're happy to be here.
Great people. Sea piracy has, however, been singled out as one of the biggest challenges for cruise ship tourism. And just recently, Mombasa welcomed Turkish-led CTF 151 flagship Navy ship that conducted a counter-piracy patrol. The idea behind the concept being to promote stability, security, and prosperity across approximately 2.5 million square miles of international waters.
The root causes of the piracy should be addressed with an equal determination by the international community.
Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Mombasa.
A record 24 million shillings was raised in less than 20 minutes at the famous annual Kimalel Goat Auction and Cultural Festival in the county of Baringo, presided over by Deputy President William Ruto. The buyers, mainly politicians, professionals and businessmen, bought the 1,960 goats from farmers drawn from across the county. The government-sanctioned annual goat auction hit its target of 24 million shillings this year, 5 million shillings more as compared to last year's 18.7 million shillings. The auction is geared towards promoting the local livestock industry, which is currently on the upswing as Kenyans usher in the festive season. The Deputy President assured livestock farmers that they were keen on growing the sector in the region by increasing investments.
Export subsidies, with developed nations expected to get rid of their subsidies starting now, with developing nations to eliminate theirs by 2018.
Luckily, we finalized the achievement for any ministerial conference.
But the gathering was overshadowed by stubborn divisions between the poor and the rich nations over how to proceed with the Doha agenda, and even an additional unscheduled fifth day of meetings failed to end the impasse. The Doha round of trade negotiation was launched with great fanfare in the Qatar capital in 2001, with the aim of helping developing countries grow through improved trade access.
And the reason why agricultural produce don't get access into the developed countries is not necessarily because rules are set to say you cannot access. It's because our goods are more expensive because of significant amount of subsidies that are provided to competing agricultural products in some of those countries.
Philip Keitang, KTN Business.
The 10th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference received plenty of criticism for not being able to achieve most of its previously set commitments. Despite this, analysts claim that it is the first conference seen to have made headway compared to previous meetings. And as KTN's Ashley Mazuri now tells us, it is beginning to emerge that much more was left on the agenda.
When the Kenyan delegation taking part in the just concluded 10th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference converged with their counterparts from other nations, the brief was quite clear. Level the playing field by fronting towards getting a fair share of trade from developing countries. Top on the delegates' list included the Doha agenda, agricultural subsidies, food security, empowering least developed countries, information technology, and the passing of the Trade Facilitation Agreement. A few of the key areas were agreed upon, with the substantial left pending. According to Duncan Lumwamu, a senior investment analyst with Iten Investments, the ministerial conference, being the first to be held on African soil, did cover good ground.
And a lot of agreement coming in into trying to tie the need for both of them. So like when the subsidies are brought in immediately, effective immediately, the developed world is coming to cut down on those subsidies.
Since the formation of the World Trade Organization 14 years back, only 2 deals have been struck, raising questions over the effectiveness of the trade body. Lumwamu reckons that practical solutions from the ratification of the agreements ought to be the focal point. From the conference, African nations continue to champion for fair trade as global trade remains skewed in favor of developed nations. Disunity among African countries has affected trade immensely, with intra-African trade standing about 15%. Calls for African nations to speak with one voice remains critical if Africa is to penetrate the dynamic global market.
It is fair to say that the concluded World Trade Organization conference has made sure that there's something for all, as deals made will ensure a level playing field for all countries and open up opportunities even for the poor regions to compete in the world's markets. Ashley Mazuri, KTN Business.
Also, insurance companies have reported a 56.3% drop in profit after tax in the 9 months to September 2015 following a poor run of fortunes at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Data from the Insurance Regulatory Authority shows insurance firms registered a total of 4.5 billion shillings in after-tax profit at the end of September, compared to 10.3 billion in a similar period last year. The drop in profit signals a likely dividend drought for shareholders and possible capital injections to recover capital positions for those that post losses. Life insurers were the most affected by the slump, with their profits declining 79% to 872 million from 4.1 billion shillings last year, while general business recorded a 41% drop to 3.6 billion shillings. And that is KTN Business. Suspended FIFA President Sepp Blatter and European soccer boss Michel Platini have both been banned from football and related activities for a period of 8 years by the Ethics Committee of football's global governing body. This is after investigations were carried out into a 2 million Swiss franc payment by FIFA to Platini in 2011.
Almost came to a standstill Monday afternoon after the football governing body FIFA's Ethics Committee gave the verdict concerning a 2 million Swiss franc payment made by FIFA to UEFA's Michel Platini in 2011. After a 90-day suspension, the committee chaired by Hans-Joachim Eckert handed Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini an 8-year ban from football-related activities nationally or internationally. This is after the committee dismissed the claims concerning the payments made by FIFA to Platini. The statement from the committee stated, and I quote, "Neither was Mr. Blatter in his written statement or personal hearing able to demonstrate another legal basis for this payment. His assertion of an oral agreement was determined as not convincing and was rejected by the chamber." Moments after the report had been made public, Sepp Blatter responded to the ban. Blatter confirmed that he'll be appealing the ban at the Court of Arbitration for Sports, claiming that he'll fight for FIFA and himself.
I am now suspended 8 years. Suspended 8 years. But I will fight. I will fight for me and I will fight for FIFA. Suspended 8 years for what? So immediately, once again, to the appeal committee. We go to the TAS, Tribunal Arbitral du Sport. We go also to, that's another, to Swiss, the rights of Switzerland. I'm a Swiss citizen.
Mr. Blatter also apologized to World Football and FIFA for being a punching ball.
But I'm sorry that I am, as president of FIFA, this punching ball. And I'm sorry for football. I'm sorry for the Fédération Internationale de Football Association. I'm serving now more than 40 years. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for the 400 plus FIFA team members. They are working in FIFA. I'm sorry about that.
The decision, which comes as corruption scandal swirls around FIFA, means that Blatter's 17 years at the helm of world soccer may end up tainted. The ban may also spell the end of Platini's hopes of replacing the 79-year-old Swiss in a presidential election set for February next year. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.